Today we're going to do another dance workshop on our survival rights. We're going to look at the foundations that we need to thrive. For the first activity, I want you to imagine that you are an unmovable object, an object that cannot move. So maybe that could be a chair or a rock or a tree. So for me, I'm going to pretend that I am a big chair. So I'm going to be very firm on my feet and I'm going to put my hands up, and you can see I am an unmovable chair. If you try and sit on me, you'll find that I don't fall. So why don't you try with your own shape? So now I want you to find an unmovable object. Maybe you could find a table or a chair, and you're going to use that for the next activity. I want you to remember back to our previous lesson where we had the image of two hands. The image is here, and I wanted you to imagine that this image was your survival rights. Your survival rights are the right for water, food, medical care, and also shelter. So now when you get your unmovable object, maybe it's a chair or a table, I want you to also imagine that that object represents your survival rights. That object helps you to thrive. Now what I want you to do, so when you have your unmovable object, for example a table, I want you to find interesting ways of leaning or balancing on your object. That's the first thing I want you to do. Now the second thing that I want you to do is, when you have made your movements on the object, I want you to remove the object and do the movements again. You may have to adapt them, but I want you to try the dance again without the object. Okay, then the last activity that I want you to do is, I want you to imagine what would happen if that object suddenly was removed from you. What would happen? So what would happen is that you would fall to the floor. You might fall suddenly, and that's what happens when our rights are taken away from us. And we have to remember that when our rights are taken away from us, we have to find someone we trust and tell them. So I want you to find a movement which is a rolling movement, a falling movement, to show what it's like when our rights are taken away from us. So let me just capture everything again. I want you to find a moving object, make some shapes around that object, leaning on it, balancing on it. Then I want you to take the object away and continue with those same movements but without the object. Then I want you to imagine that that object is not there and find a falling motion to finish your routine. When you've come up with your routine, I want you to showcase it to the mentor, and we will also look forward to seeing it. Thank you.